What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness.
So guys, channel membership is now live. Link is in the description and the first comment. Do check it out. That would really help support the channel.
So let's start this video with 3 weeks out physique update from Shire. So for those of you guys who do not know, the man is coming back after almost 18 months. So he was running a bit behind schedule up until 2 weeks back. But it seems like his body changed drastically in the past 1 week or so. And the man has finally started to look very hot, very grainy, and very aesthetic. And that is something that was kind of missing throughout this prep. And it has been a very long prep for Shire for this one. So his chest was something that was looking kind of soft throughout this prep. But just a hot push for a week that made such a massive difference, as you guys can see right now in this update. So Justin is gonna be stepping on Tampa Pro and Texas Pro stage, aiming for his second Pro win and also for his second Olympia qualification. So he took a very long time off. And whenever an athlete does that, the expectations from the fans and even the athlete himself, they are very high. And same is the case for Shire too, as the anticipation is pretty damn high on how he's gonna look after taking such a long break. And we are all expecting him to look a lot bigger and better, especially in the back area. And this is especially important for the men's open bodybuilding division, where we all know size matters a lot, that rules over everything. So all of us are curious on how Justin is gonna look like this time around. So last time at Chicago Pro back in 2023, where Justin Shire made his pro debut, he was able to beat John De La Rosa and Stanimal, and a bunch of other guys too, like Blessing Afudibu, Patrick Moore, and I think we can all agree that all of these guys, they weren't very strong competitors, especially John De La Rosa at that time, because John is that one guy who improved so much from 2023 Chicago Pro. Now I personally think Justin has an amazing shape, one of the best aesthetics out there, and the guy flows so damn well, top to bottom. And he's gonna be very competitive in those front shots, like the front double biceps, the front lat spread, but he will have difficulty winning the side poses, as well as those back shots. And that is something that matters the most, how much improvements he was able to make in his back area, because that was the biggest area of focus throughout this very long off season. I for one am very eager to see the kind of conditioning he brings this time around. Next up, we have an update from Elliot Demund, one of the best amateur physique on the planet at the moment. And the only thing that denied him the pro card is him facing some serious health concerns last year, which eventually forced him to pull out of the NPC Nationals last year. So he was looking right on the money leading into that show and the one regional show that he did before the NPC Nationals. The man looked pretty damn awesome. He was hot as a rock 5 weeks out of the NPC Nationals. And only God knows what was the reason why he decided to up the dosage in terms of the PEDs and the gear and add new things into his cycle. And that was actually against the advice of his coach. And that led him to getting admitted to the hospital. And the man faced some serious health concerns. Now, as per Elliot Demund himself, he was 70% of his true potential at that one show that he did, which I just mentioned. And even being at 70%, got him featured on all the bodybuilding media outlets. I think this guy has some of the craziest chest striations, especially in that front lat spread shot. The only other person I think of which comes to my mind with that same quality when it comes to those chest striations in that particular shot, that is none other than Andrew Jacked. So even before turning pro and getting his pro card, he had such a super body, some crazy body parts, and we simply cannot ignore those calves on him. They are pretty damn massive, probably some of the best out there. And if I'm not mistaken, he will be doing the NPC US, and the man is looking right on the money with the kind of conditioning and the symmetry that he's showcasing right now. So at this point, all he's got to do is to take no pressure and finish this prep without taking any extra risk. And he's gonna be a huge favorite to turn pro this year, and we might even see him on the pro stage later this year. Next up, we have an update from Logan Franklin. Now I am very certain his side leg has never looked this good before. So Logan is also on a mission this year. I am sure majority of the fans out there They do not believe that he's gonna be top 3 at the Olympia this year in classic physique because we have so many guys fighting for those top 3 spots. But honestly, none of us really thought that he will be second place at this past Arnold, Ohio, behind Mike Sommerfeld. Now, he did not overperform in that show. He just fulfilled his true potential. And he brought the physique of his lifetime at that show. And the kind of conditioning that we saw on Logan, we never saw that on him before. But still, it wasn't even close between him and Mike Sommerfeld, the guy who won that show, especially in the back shots, as per the judges, who clearly had Mike winning that show. But that being said, Logan was quote-unquote the most classic-looking man in that classic physique lineup at the Arnold, Ohio. Even a guy like Chris Bumstead said the same thing. But the reason it wasn't close between him and Mike, that is very simple. He lacked the density and the thickness in comparison to a guy like Mike, who was overall more muscular. And that is why him and his coach Patrick Tuor, they decided to take a long break, enough for him to make some necessary improvements before this year's Mr. Olympia. So Logan has yet to qualify for the Olympia, and he's roughly 8 weeks out of his next show. Now he has plenty of time to nail his condition, as the man already looks way ahead of the schedule. Now Logan thinks he's gonna be top 3 at the Olympia this year, alongside Mike and Terence Ruffin. Now to make that happen, Logan is gonna have to beat some very great classic physique guys that he hasn't even compared to before, like Urs, Ramon, even Brian. Now for the record, he was 13th at Mr. Olympia last year, but the physique that he presented at this year's Arnold, Ohio, that was a totally different bodybuilder. So this isn't a 3 weeks out physique update from Quinton Beastwood, but this pretty much shows us that the man means business this time around. And if somehow he's able to maintain all this muscle while at the same time nail his condition, come in hard as nails and very grainy, while making sure that he maintains all of his pop, all of his fullness, and present his career's best look at this upcoming Tampa Pro stage, he's gonna win that show. So the man is gonna be coaching himself, most probably throughout this prep, probably throughout his career too, and he has done one hell of a job so far. Now I personally think that Quinton has to be the favorite to win this upcoming Tampa Pro if he shows up the way he's supposed to, because the kind of height advantage that he has and the kind of width that he has, that coupled with some of the best aesthetics, one of the most beautiful shapes out there, crazy X-frame and V-taper, he's gonna be pretty damn hard to beat. And we have to keep in mind, it isn't just about Tampa Pro. He has one of the best structure in the entire men's open at the moment. And all these factors, they make him a very dangerous bodybuilder. So the whole of the bodybuilding industry has been waiting for Quinton to finally nail it, to come into his own. And it seems like that the man took his time. But in reality, Quinton is still very young, only 30 years old. And if he plays it smart, he's gonna have a decade-long career ahead of him. So looking at this back shot, this looks like a good 6 to 7 weeks outlook. And for a guy like Quinton, he has absolutely zero issues getting the hamstrings and the glutes absolutely ripped. So what do you guys think? Is Quinton finally gonna win his first pro show and qualify for his first ever Mr. Olympia? Robert Timms is one of those guys who had the privilege of competing at the first ever classic physique Mr. Olympia back in 2016 and also placing top 6 at that show. So other than him and Brian, all the other guys from the top 6, they have retired. Yes, Terence was also there, but he wasn't top 6. Sadiq Hadzovic, he did not retire, but he moved back to men's physique division. But Robert, on the other hand, he's still working to create a physique worthy enough to step on Mr. Olympia stage and do very well one more time. So how many times have we said that if only Robert Timms had better legs, as great as his upper half, he would have been a top Olympian every year. The roundness and the full muscle bellies that he has up top, they are kind of reminiscent of Brendan Carey, and that goes front to back. His back from the waist up, that is also very complete. Now he did improve his look from 2021 to 2023, and the main idea, that was to drop a little bit of size in the upper half to create more of a balance top to bottom. And the man did do that. That did work. But that being said, he's still facing the same problem as majority of the tall guys are. They are maxed out in terms of the weight cap. And it is really difficult to improve a genetically inferior muscle group, especially when it is such a large muscle group as the legs. And that too with a weight cap hanging over your head. So Robert isn't done just yet. And as per him, this has been a very long health phase for him. So let's see whether he decides to compete before the Olympia this year or not. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.